Hi everyone, I'm TheNorm, and before today's review, I just wanted to take a moment to make a little apology. In my last review for 45 years, I made this comment. People who think that movies like this are good really need to watch more movies. It wasn't until I posted that review that I realized how that may have inadvertently belittled or talked down to anyone in my audience, which was not my intention at all. My intention was to showcase how I thought that that film was not made as well as it should have, and in my angered state, I made a comment that I understand now may have unintentionally insulted any of my viewers. I'd like to apologize if that is how it came off, because that was not my intention. And now let's move on to today's review. Thank you. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. I lived a life of pain and killing. Now I'm looking to stop all that. I didn't want to draw my gun on nobody no more. But you're giving me no choice. You tried to kill my paw. You tried to corrupt this here town. Now I'm gonna make you pay. That's basically the gist of the movie. The Western. Countless movie classics. Stories of cowboys and Indians and marshals and bounty hunters, rescuing the kidnapped girl from a savage Indian, liberating a town from an evil dictator, panning for gold, and most popular of all, seeking redemption from a troubled past. Me personally, my favorite Western is Valdez is Coming. It's basically Payback, but in the West. And yet for some reason, no one seems to be really making Westerns anymore. I mean, maybe we get one or two every few years, but they're not as popular as they once were. Why is that? Well, I'm really no authority on the matter, but if I had to venture a guess, I suppose it would be because there's no sense of awe for the frontier anymore. I mean, sure, if you haven't gone to the Grand Canyon yet, totally go check it out, it's beautiful. But I get the sense that Western movies was more a product of its time than anything else. Nowadays, it's all about superheroes and intergalactic space battles and all that stuff. Which isn't a bad thing in any way. It's just to say that cowboys aren't really the in thing anymore, which is kind of sad because I still think cowboys are pretty cool. So naturally, whenever I hear of a brand new Western movie coming out, I have to check it out. And most recently, this Western came out. And it's not anything new. It has a very predictable story and a very predictable outcome, but at the very least, it seems to be aware of that. It knows that it's not bringing anything new to the table, and it's not really trying to. Rather, it's sort of being an old-time classic fun vehicle for Kiefer Sutherland and Donald Sutherland to be in a movie together. Which, frankly, I don't have a problem with, as they are two very fine actors, and they clearly seem to have a lot of fun. The story follows a young man named John Henry, no, not that one, John Henry Clayton, played by Kiefer Sutherland, as a man returning home from the war trying to live a simple life. He also didn't leave his father on good terms, and is trying to find a way for redemption. All the while, some sleazy bad guy, played by Brian Cox, is trying to take over the entire town by killing all the local farmers and taking their land. And of course, as you would expect in a Western, Kiefer is the only gunslinger who can potentially save them, but he doesn't want to draw a gun ever again. By the way, one really funny reoccurring bit about this movie is the fact that Brian Cox is literally the only character in the movie who seems to be allowed to say the word f***. Seriously, he's the only character in the entire movie who ever says that word. I don't know why, it's just funny. Anyway, because the plot is predictable, there's no real sense of excitement or wonder or... yeah. But at the very least, it's a well-acted, well-photographed, and mostly well-directed pile of predictability. And Kiefer Sutherland really does do a very fine job. Honestly, the biggest problem I really had with the movie was the script, which was especially baffling because it comes to us from Brad Merman, who has written some really good stuff before, as well as some really bad stuff. The problem is that the script spends too much time telling the story rather than showing the story. It also doesn't help that the director doesn't really know how to handle a scene. Almost every scene is shot and cut the exact same way. There's no real sense of creative flair or no real sense of visual storytelling. It's just cut to this guy say this, cut to this guy say that, bam, that's it. Bland is not the word I really want to use, but unfortunately, it's really the best word to describe it. But I will say this, at the very least, it is better than a few other Western movies that are out there that match that description. And also at the very least, it is significantly better than 45 Years. Yeah, I'm not gonna get over that for a while. So really, if you're looking for a decently predictable new Western movie this year, you can certainly do a lot worse. Currently, this film is available for rent on Xfinity and iTunes, so yeah, why not? I mean, we gotta have something to tide us over until the really good-looking movies come out later on. Oh yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, I am The Norm. Thank you all for watching.